finally getting a new standard set. It comes at a standard price and it contains a standard amount of cards. It's even set in a very beloved plane, the plane of Eldraine. And still, this set is tanking. It contains so many hidden gems, so what the heck is going on? Let's get into it.
Wilds of Eldraine has come off to possibly the worst start for a standard set in several years. And this is even counting Streets of New Capenna, and boy, that was a really bad set when we're speaking of value. For Wilds of Eldraine, you pretty much need to either make sure to pull a Agatha's Soul Cauldron, Beseech the Mirror, or a Moonshaker Cavalry. So you pretty much need to pull one of these three cards, otherwise you're going to be screwed in terms of value. Luckily enough, we still have the Enchanting Tales, which is the bonus set for this standard set. And if you pull a Doubling Season, a Blood Moon, a Ristic Study, or something like that, one of the high value cards, it could save you. But on the bad side of things, you probably won't pull it because it's becoming increasingly apparent that these cards are really hard to pull.
And speaking of value, if you're getting any value out of this video, don't forget to smash that like button and also consider subscribing to the channel for even more Magic news. So is Wilds of Eldraine a bad set? No, it isn't. This set has some really powerful mythic cards besides the three bangers we have already mentioned, most notoriously being Will and Rowan. These two are going to see a lot of play, maybe not yet in standard before people find some way to use their broken abilities, but they are going to see a lot of play in Commander. They are perfect candidates for being commanders in a commander deck. Right now, these are the cards you should pick up because they are increasingly cheap, especially considering how powerful they are. And there are a lot of good cards besides the mythic cards, especially Mono Red is having a heap ton of great cards. You could take Raging Battlemouse and pair it up with Godric, and there you have a nice little synergy. You could also consider taking a little bit of white in your Mono Red deck and go Burrows, full on Burrows, and then you just need to have that Signpost uncommon, Ash the Party Crasher, and you are in for a nice little treat because these cards are really great. Also, we have the Witchstalker Frenzy, and this card is just made for removing Sheoldred the Apocalypse because she is such an annoying card, and it seems like the creators behind Magic just thought, how can we remove Sheoldred? Well, let's just find something that gives 5 damage, and let's also reward mono red aggro players for actually attacking with those creatures, so that is just a nice fit for mono red aggro.
So Simic is also getting some love in this set. It's going to get some very sweet card draw with the card Up the Beanstalk. That's really great for these two colors. And also, we're seeing, of course, a watered down version, but still something similar to Hydroid Crazes in form of the Goose Mother, our Goose Hydra. Wilds of Eldraine also has a bit of extra fun in our rare land slot. We have a cycle of really nice fun enchanted creature lands that can become a creature if you really truly need it and just in a pinch. Of course, it would have been better if they didn't come into play tapped. As we discussed in some of our other videos, one of the features that we are really excited to see back is the adventure cards, and this is a really cool mechanic. It really expands the gameplay and makes sure that you have a lot of fun when playing sets that includes this. Unfortunately, somehow the adventure cards in this time in Wilds of Eldraine is not as strong as the ones that we saw in Throne of Eldraine. Maybe it's because the cards are just not as powerful, or maybe it might be because that these are dual colored, so they have a different color adventure than the casting cost of the card itself. If you think back to Throne of Eldraine, we had the Bone Crusher Giant, we had a lot of other really cool cards that you can see on the screen right now, and these were some powerful cards that people really enjoy playing, and we don't have quite the same power level for Wilds of Eldraine. So not only were they really powerful in Throne of Eldraine, they also had a really great power curve, so you had something to play on every step of the way, and that made for some truly powerful adventure cards.
Heck, the set has barely been out and already somebody had found a way to just break standard and make infinite mana. And this you can do with Sleep Cursed Fairy, Agatha's Soul Cauldron and Kami of Whispered Hope. And here's how you do it. First you need to get the Sleep Cursed Fairy out in your graveyard. Then you exile it with Agatha's Soul Cauldron and you have the Kami of Whispered Hope on the battlefield. You put the 1/1 counter on the Kami, and then this Kami also get all the abilities from the cards exiled with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, here being the Sleep Cursed Fairy. So for 1 and a blue you can untap it, but mana is not really a problem because the Agatha's Soul Cauldron also mana fixes all of the abilities. So now your Kami will generate 3 mana for you. You tap it, then you spend 2 to untap it, and you have 1 mana floating, and you can do this infinite times, and there you have infinite mana. Have fun! So what the heck is wrong with this set? We are going to tell you what we think is wrong with the set Wilds of Eldraine. But before we go into that, we would like to know what you think is wrong with the Wilds of Eldraine, since it's actually performing so poorly value-wise. Let us have your best guess, or opinion, or insight down in the comment section.
So as you can tell, there's nothing wrong with this set in our opinion. We really enjoy it. We think there's a bunch of truly powerful cards that will be a lot of fun to play in several different formats. But perhaps it pales a bit in comparison to the first set, which was Throne of Eldraine. It was a very powerful set, perhaps the one with the most banned cards in recent times. So maybe it's just a tad weaker than Throne of Eldraine, and maybe the adventure cards are not quite as good, and that might be the explanation to as why Wilds of Eldraine is being perceived as a slightly weaker set and less iconic than Throne of Eldraine.
Another explanation to why Wilds of Eldraine is performing a little worse than expected could simply be wallet fatigue. This is a standard set, and it has been released after 2 big and banging sets. But these sets were also really expensive. I'm of course talking about Lord of the Rings and Commander Masters. So a very possible scenario could be that people have just simply spent what they had to spend on Magic the Gathering on the 2 previous sets, because these sets had maybe greater lore and more powerful cards, and therefore there's not the same demand for cards from the Wilds of Eldraine, and that is hurting the price and value of the cards.
Once you go serialized, you don't go back. And I think unfortunately Wilds of Eldraine is hurting under the fact that this set does not have any serialized cards. It is the newest thing from Wizards of the Coast to make us buy it and get collectors interested in a set, serialization. So when you don't have any chase cards that have serialized versions, apparently it doesn't really affect the value enough so that you get a lot of really high chase cards, even if you print truly and very powerful cards like Blood Moon, like Doubly Season, Smothering Tides, Rhystic Studies. All of these probably and presumably would have had a lot more value if they had a serialized version. But again, is this really a problem, or should we just enjoy that all of the cards are really good and at the moment really affordable?
So that was our take on why Wilds of Eldraine is performing a bit poorer than expected. And that was of course a less powerful set than the predecessor, wallet fatigue and no serialization. But as Sophie's just mentioned, is that actually a problem? Because this set is also giving a lot of great and powerful cards for players to enjoy.
And again, maybe we should just enjoy it, but it might become a problem if people look at the prices and go, oh, there are no good cards here. So this is why we wanted to make this video, to show you there are a lot of great cards in this set, and maybe you should consider picking them up right now while they're cheap, before somebody figures out a really broken combo and suddenly the prices skyrocket. So go grab your cards.
So yeah, that is the conclusion. Right now, the Wilds of Eldraine is performing value-wise poorer than expected, but there's a lot of great cards, and it's a great opportunity for you to pick up all those nice beefy cards to ramp up your decks and your play strategies. Thank you to our wonderful subscribers that is really helping this channel grow, and also a special thank you to our YouTube channel members that is going that extra mile to support us and help us grow this channel. Thanks to all of you, and thank you for watching, and see you next time.